I want to talk about an experience that I had about 6 weeks into lockdown, which is really profound and deeply, deeply moving. And I've told a few people about it and they've been really quite moved. So I wanted to make a short video. So one morning I was out, it was about 6 weeks into lockdown, and I was out on my usual morning walk. And I was feeling quite peaceful. The sun was shining. I was feeling really touched by the connection that I was receiving from people around me. So usually in this neighborhood, people don't really always say hello. Most of the time they don't. People don't look at each other. But I was looking at someone's cat through the window, and then a person popped behind the cat and waved at me. And I was so touched by that because I was feeling so lonely. And that happened a few times this morning where I was um, receiving love really from the people around me. I was thinking about my life in lockdown as it was and thinking, maybe this is it. Maybe this is the end of my life. Kind of pondering this because it's true, right? At any point we can die. So it's like, wow, maybe I'm never going to touch another human again. Maybe this is it. Maybe I'm going to die in this house, just me and little one, the cat. And that's it. How do I feel about that? So I started reflecting on my life and how I've lived, going through memories, what my sense of myself is in my life now. And similarly to when I've heard people talk about when you come to the end of your life. So the idea was becoming more real to me. I was playing into the idea quite strongly. And then it was growing, the feeling was growing, imagining that, this is the end of my life. Maybe this is the end of my life, and treating it as though it was. So I got back to the house after my walk of about half an hour of this process starting, which just came out of the blue, really. And then the feeling got stronger in me of the feeling of love and of my heart really expanding. And I felt so in the present moment, because if this was the end of my life, then I didn't have any ambition to do anything for the future. So I was relieved of needing to do anything. So I think this really brought me into a place of being in myself. And when I was thinking about the past, I was looking upon the past, then I was doing that with love. So I was really in a space, it's really quite hard to put words on this experience. I was really in a place of being, really being with myself, being in the present moment. Even though I was looking at the past, I was really in the present moment with it, really in this place of love. And was thinking about my relationships, all the people that I love, my experiences, the travel that I've done, the things I've done that I've loved, the things that were difficult, the heartbreaks, the losses, and feeling so much love and gratitude for the whole thing, not any scrap of regret or that anything needed to be different, really bringing all of it into the present moment in my being, or recognizing that it was all here in the present moment in my being. And then I had an image of kneeling in front of a tall grey door. And what I could sense the other side of this door and kind of wall was the void. It was death. There was nothing actually that I wasn't imagining anything the other side. It was emptiness. And behind me, so I was steeped in beautiful petals, like multicolored petals and flowers, kind of like a funeral when you have lots of flowers. Felt like a funeral. And I was kneeling at the door, kneeling with all this lovely, my heart exploding with love and gratitude, and sensing like the whole of my life, the sense of the story of my life behind me, and so much love coming through. And I was just weeping, weeping and weeping and weeping. And in that moment of being at the threshold of death, where that door could open any moment, I realized right then I had absolutely no resistance whatsoever to death. And when I've thought about my own death before, I've usually thought about it in terms of an after, like something after this. So I leave this body, but somehow it stays intact, and it leaves the physical shell, and it goes and it has a journey. And I guess that's a belief. And this time I didn't think of it in that way. I didn't need, and this was what was different. I didn't feel the need for the for me the small separate self, what I believe to be the small separate self. I didn't feel any kind of need or desire for that to stay intact, for this to stay intact. In that moment, I knew myself absolutely as eternal being. Eternal being, no separation. So, and nothing mattered. As precious as this life, this person is, the story of my life, all the experiences, none of it, ultimately, none of it really mattered. So it was both absolutely precious. I was bursting with gratitude and love, and it absolutely, none of it really mattered in the grand scheme of things, in this, the eternity of being. And it was pure freedom. It is pure freedom. And I knew myself as that in that moment. The unspeakable beauty of our true being, and this deep knowing that everything is perfect.